So if you're finding that you are being super busy and not getting your outcome, watch this video because you are likely not clear on what you really want. See, when you're clear on what you really desire, you have no problem making decisions aligned with that clarity. It's easier to say yes to the right things, and it's easier to say no to the wrong things. Even if sometimes it doesn't lead you down the path you thought it might, you have a lot more security, you feel more safe, you feel more at ease with making those decisions because you are clear with the end goal. And that is what I want for you. As you are working towards your end of the year goals, as you're looking to crush it before 2026, as you're looking to transform your life, I desire clarity for you. And so in this video, I want to make sure that you know why clarity is very important prior to taking a whole bunch of action, because like I said, if you're doing that right now, you're playing. And I want to give you some things to help you be more clear. So let's get going. And I have notes, so don't you worry about me looking down. So you get what you need when you are clear and not just shiny things. So if you've been finding yourself with shiny gold object syndrome, like you have all this information, you have all these books, you have all these courses, all these templates, you know, you're in like a million accountability groups, and you still feel like you're busy but you're not getting to the outcome, it's because you're not clear. I have been you, I have been a person that has desired to have this robust coaching program, this robust speaking circuit that I'm a part of, and feeling like I'm in all these things and not just seeing the picture, the end goal in my head. So I had to get clear about how do I want this to happen, and am I just jumping on things because of the people that I admire are doing things that just look fancy, they look amazing, and we start doing that and getting off track. So if that sounds like you, maybe you need to get back focused on what really matters to you and not what you see other people doing, because now you're making what your goal is somebody else's goal instead of staying true to what you might have previously defined. So get regrounded, get reset on what you know you need, aligned to what you say you actually desire. The next thing is, it's easier for you to get the results that you want if you know what your goal requires. So when I was doing work in my full-time job and then also desiring to have, you know, this robust coaching program, there was a time where I didn't know what it required to really do more business to consumer coaching programs. And while I was working full-time, not having a whole lot of really just skill set around the tech around it. I did so many things that were low tech, so when I started wanting to, you know, scale per se, I wasn't like hit to the game on a lot of the high tech ways, and I honestly didn't want to get hit to the game. I'm like, I'm working full time, it's just me, I don't got time for this, right? And so I was really novice on what it required to scale at this level that I thought I needed to scale at, versus getting clear on, well, Desiree, what do you really desire? And what I really desire is financial freedom. And financial freedom doesn't have to look like me burning myself out because I have to have a $5 million business in 6 months. Because if we're real, that's kind of like the Kool-Aid we've been drinking. And so with that being said, know what it requires, but you can't know what it requires if you don't know what you're clear on. And so that'll make it easy for you to say no to stuff again, or yes to things. And then I believe clarity helps you stay rooted in your principles. The more clear about how I wanted to live my life was for me, it was easier for me to say no to things. I was rooted in the principles of, I desire to have a healthy work-life balance. I desire to have robust relationships in my life that I actually spend time doing. I desire to be a part of social media and have this as a platform, but I don't want to be dictated by it. And so with that being said, I'm like, okay, I'm not about to, you know, sign up for things that are going to have me doing otherwise. And so I'm standing in those principles. A lot of people don't consider the principles of the thing they actually desire. We just start saying, oh, you know, I want a promotion, or I want to start my business, or I want to work out, but we don't think about the principles, because the principles the principles of the thing that are going to keep you grounded on it, right? The principles of good health, the principles of robust relationships, the principles of feeling peace, power, prosperity. Those are the things that are going to keep us grounded. And then the last thing is, when you are clear on what you desire, you can get detached from the how. And this is huge, you all, because I've been in that place where I've been so caught up in a thing having to happen a certain way, and it's really stolen my joy and made me frustrated to feel like when I was going down a path and actually getting some traction, because it didn't look like other people's journey, or because I had to do things slightly different, I was thinking I was failing. And so I would stop and I would self-sabotage myself and never keep going all the way. And so I want you to detach yourself. Maybe what you desire to do is not going to be attached to you going viral, on some platform, but maybe it is. There are just so many ways to get to the goals that you desire. When we lock in on the how having to happen a certain way, that's when we can get in the space of not really truly living from a place of abundance, and just realizing that, God can have a whole bunch of ways for this to happen for you. Just lock in on your desire, getting clear on what you want overall, lock in on those principles, and then be open to the other ways that it can happen, because it can happen in a lot of ways. And so with that being said, here are some questions that you can ask yourself to really help you get clear before the year is out. So question number one is, what do I actually desire? You should have known that was going to come up. What do I actually desire? Is it better health? And if so, get really definitive about that. For me, I had to get my health together because I had high blood pressure for a little bit of time, about 2 years ago. And so I wanted better health before the year was out. I think I went to the doctor in September, and that's when I found out, September of 2023, and that's when I had to get my life together. I'm like, okay, Desiree, we not about to live like this. And so I had to lock in for the end of the year to make sure my blood pressure went back to normal, because I didn't want to be on a pill. And so with that being said, I knew that that was what I wanted, good health. And it's just like, okay, what does that mean? It's like, well, it means that I don't have high blood pressure anymore. And so what are the indicators for high blood pressure? Stress, working out, or just movement, a healthy movement, lifestyle, exercise, right? And it's also like, what am I putting in my body? What am I eating? So those are the 3 indicators, and those are the things that I'm like, you know what, I want to eat healthier. Like, I wanted that, I desired that. I already was pescatarian, but I know I ate out a lot. I had fried food, all the things. And so I'm like, okay, how can I eat more whole foods? So that's when I decided, you know what, I'm going to scaffold myself into being vegan so I can eat more whole foods. Because the thing is, I could have been vegan and still eat trash food, but I decided I wanted to eat more whole foods, period. So I scaffolded that. I decided to become a contractor at my old company because I wanted to be able to be at choice when I was traveling, because that was a part of my stress. I was traveling 70% of the time. So when I left my full-time job, I didn't leave the company all the way. I became a contractor because that would help me still bring in income with a company that I enjoyed being with without the pressure of having to work the way full-time employees are required to. So that helped me with the stress level. And then exercise, now I had to be intentional. I am a dancer. I'm a trained dancer. I have a nonprofit dance company, but when I started doing coaching and consulting and training, I definitely wasn't working out the same amount of time. And so I got back into routine of working out. And so when I was thinking about what I desired, I first started off with this broad thing, but then I got very detailed about what I wanted it to look like. And so that's what I want you to do. I want you to paint the picture. What do I desire? And paint the full picture of what it looks like. Now again, it doesn't mean every part of the painting is going to look exactly like that, but you're going to get way closer to the picture that you paint when you actually make the picture. The Bible talks about write the vision and make it plain. God said that for a reason. We write the vision, we make it plain. It's got to come to pass. We can run with it. He can run with it. And so I want you to paint that picture, paint that vision, so that you can get clear on what it is that you desire. And then I want you to ask yourself, well, how do I want this to feel? I want to think about feeling words. How do I want this to feel? So do you want the process to feel at ease? Do you want the end to feel peaceful once you meet the objective? What do you want it to feel like, right? What's the pacing that you want it to feel like? And this is important because this helps you get into what I want to talk about in another video, is really embodying. Like really embodying the person that has already accomplished that vision, that already is in this picture. And so I want you to start thinking about, what do I want it to feel like? Not just look like, feel like, right? And so those two questions alone can really help you lock in on clarity, and then you know what you need to say yes to. Then you know what you need to say no to. Like, you know more about what action you need to take versus what we typically do. We don't create like this really robust picture. We just start doing a whole bunch of stuff because we got the idea. We start taking action, which is not terribly bad, but it can leave us feeling very frustrated when we don't see the outcome, and it's because we haven't locked in on the picture. You can keep coming back to the picture. Remember, like, it's your life. So you can keep coming back to it like, you know what, let me change this, let me erase this, or let me, like clean the canvas out because maybe what I painted before isn't what I really desire. Maybe that's what I thought I needed. So it might take some practice because typically we don't sit and do this. Matter of fact, I spoke at an event with 600 women, and a lot of them came to me afterward. We talked about this topic, and they said that the best thing that they enjoyed from the talk was really making themselves sit down and consider what they actually desire and really doing what I'm asking you to do, because they don't take the time to do it, and I'm assuming that you are them. Y'all the same. We the same out here. We don't give ourselves space and time to do it, so give yourself space and time to get clear, because when you are clear, you make better decisions. When you are clear, you know what you get to do, and I want that for you. And so if this really hits, then you are going to love being a part of my 3-day change challenge. It's not about setting goals and vision boards. This is about transforming who you are so that you can have what you desire. So if that sounds like you, go ahead and click below. Can't wait to see you at the change challenge, and I definitely can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye.